Hello and welcome to the program Hot Button. The expression of the right attitude in a relationship is mostly considered as a language to your partner. And what you communicate to your partner's emotion and to your partner's needs means a lot to that partner. And those are the things that people consider true communication of love. My name is Johnny and I have with me on the program
Soyinbi Kolapo
and
Temilade Ologbenla.
Welcome to the program.
Nice to be here.
This is Hot Button and today we want to press another hot button. The topic for today is called love language. Love language. Now I keep wondering, love language, does love really have a language? And I'm wondering, what is love language?
Well, a love language can be said to be as those elements that aid communication within two or more parties that are going to be expressing love. And there are 5 love languages. We have receiving gifts, we have quality time, we have acts of service, we have
Affirmation?
Words of affirmation.
Okay.
And there's the last one I'm missing. But then
Have you mentioned gifts?
Yes, receiving gifts. And
Okay.
then there's one more.
Think about it and then let us know. Or what do you think?
We have physical touch.
Yes, physical touch.
Oh, that's what you want to say.
Yeah.
Let me hear that over again.
Quality time,
Okay.
acts of service, receiving gifts, physical touch, and words of affirmation.
Words
Of
of
affirmation.
affirmation. Wow. Let me hear from you. Maybe you have a different perspective to love language. Let me hear.
You know, when you go to China, there's a language they speak. When you go to America, there's a language they speak.
Okay.
Now you are in Nigeria, we speak English and we have several languages.
Definitely.
So the language that we have here and the languages they have in other places, they help with communication, like you said. So love language is an integral part of any relationship.
Okay.
And it has to just do with communication. And when I say it has to do with communication, it is just something that we cannot just push behind. It is something that must exist in every relationship.
Okay.
Because if there is no language, then
No
There will
understanding.
be no communication.
we won't
no
flow
understanding.
like we are speaking.
Okay.
Yeah.
So love, from everything you've said, I'm trying to like put it all together and then to drop it laymanly. And from what I gathered from you is like the expression of your inner feelings towards the person. And then expression is not just by words, by action. So your action also communicates.
Yes.
Yes.
And that communication is what love language is.
Yes.
Yes.
So if you say you love me and you're doing something contrary to what I see as love, you're not communicating to me well
Yeah.
with the kind of love you say you have for
Yeah.
me. Wow. Okay, now let's break it down. You say you started by mentioning what again?
Quality time.
Quality time. How does quality time depict love?
Okay. So for some people,
Okay.
spending time with their partner is, or with any person in question, is most paramount.
Okay.
Some people do not want you to spend on them or for you to touch them or something, but what they want is they prefer quality over
Quality
quantity.
time. Okay.
Yeah, so they hope that the time you spend with them, you're not using your phone. The time you spend with me, we're making eye contact, we're having a good time, basically. Because these people, they intend to savor the moment.
Okay.
So there are people like that. And, you know, if you don't communicate in this language, they might not understand. You
So
know.
you have to spend quality time with
Yes,
the person.
quality
And it's
time.
not just a length of time.
No.
It's not about how long,
Long,
you
yeah.
stay. It is about what you're doing with
with
that
time.
time with the person. Okay, let me hear from you.
Quality time is okay when we see people that have issues in long distance relationship,
Okay.
their love language may be quality time.
That's because
Yes.
they haven't had that time to spend that
Yeah.
quality time.
Though some people, their quality time may not be physical in the sense of physical quality time, but then in many cases, physical time what you're doing, just going to the park and doing things together, just talking to that next person, just being there and having that time and space
Bond,
for the person,
Okay.
and total attention on the person. When we're talking about time, we're not just talking about the time per se. We are talking about all those things that encompasses the moment.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Wow, that's impressive. That's impressive. And then I'm sure some people are getting it wrong. You just come together, you sit there with your phone, I sit here with my phone, and then so long as we're together, we think we're spending time. But the time has to be a quality time, which means if we spend quality time, by the time I walk away from you, I'm leaving something to the imagination.
Memories.
And then you're leaving something as well that you can live with and be like, wow. And then you look forward to spending such a time again.
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. Let me hear one of the love languages again.
Okay, receiving gifts.
Receiving.
Yeah, as cliche as this may sound, it is actually some people's languages.
It actually sounds very cliche to me, like.
Because you can wonder, how can I just give you a gift and then you say that's your language and I'm communicating with you? But like for some people, they want you to, it's about top of mind.
Okay.
They consider the effort, the thoughts that, okay, you're coming back from work and then you get me pizza without me asking. You know, it's a form like, oh my God, so she remembered or he remembered. So it's a thought that counts, you know. And people like that, most times people think it's all about the mass of things, but no, most times it's about remembering what they like, and then when you do that, you know, it leaves them
an intention behind why you're getting a gift.
It is that's what they want, you know. Little acts of giving, they will love that.
Little acts of giving,
and those are the things that they will like. So for you to communicate that kind of language, you must be a person that totally understands your partner or your child or whoever it is you want to communicate with in that medium.
Amazing, amazing. Okay,
and the gift you may be giving may actually be your quality time.
Okay, when you spend quality time,
it
like
may actually
I'm
be a
supposed to be here.
Yeah.
But because you matter to me, I'm spending my time with you.
Yeah, it may also be a gift.
Great.
So everything, they are actually interrelated and they are connected.
Wow.
So the thoughtfulness behind every gift is what receiving gift is all about. Not just the regular, oh, it's my birthday, then you see the money cake piling up, you know, and we see the latest phone in town, then we see those flowers that you may not even like. See, let me tell you the truth. People here, they don't like flowers. And all those things that they're just putting in for familiarity.
What do we actually do with flowers here? And then it's so funny how someone comes and then gets you a plastic flower.
Yeah,
Korean movies.
You see this big bouquet of plastic flowers, like, what? So it's just the thoughtfulness behind the gift. It may just be something really little. Like me, you may just introduce me to a very new app.
Wow.
And I'll be like, oh my God.
Okay.
And probably you just subscribe to the app for me. Yeah, that's the gift.
Okay, that's amazing. And you see, these gift things, it doesn't have to be expected. Some people only receive gifts when it's their birthday. They only receive gift when it is maybe Christmas, a holiday, anniversary or something. But when you do this thing, when you give little things, like you said, at an unexpected moment, I believe those are the things that can actually speak to someone like, hey, you truly care. Wow, okay. Let's expand more on the third one, which is what?
Words of affirmation.
Words of affirmation. So I really want to hear that.
Yeah, so this set of people that communicate in this language, they would rather you constantly, you know, to affirm something means to say over and over.
Over and over.
To constantly say.
And then live by what you say.
Yes, and live by what you say. So for people like that, you know, you have to be careful what you say around them because things will always stick in their subconscious naturally. So when it's people that would love to hear these things because they enjoy, like that's what means a lot to them. So people like them, you might give them gift and it might not be too significant, but then the moment you tell them constantly, you know, even without in the word "I love you," there are words, you know, that you guys have obviously built over time.
Yeah.
So people like that, you constantly tell them, "Oh, you look amazing today. Oh, I love your shoes. Your hair is fantastic. You're looking smoking and everything." So people like that, And then you
You're
wonder.
okay smoking. Wow, that must be like what do I put it
A
now?
Gen Z
Yeah.
word.
Gen Z is another
Yeah.
word
Young
now. It must be
millennials.
colloquial, I guess. It's something that is used among friends, I guess.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, that's nice.
You know, and people think that people like this can be petty. That why words, you know, but then it's their language, and it's their primary language.
Okay.
Because you can always communicate in more than one language, as we all know. Even in English, you can speak English and Yoruba,
Yeah.
but then it's their primary language. So for people like that, you know, you have to constantly say these things to them. You know, and for some people, you know, I'll consider that for myself. Yeah, one of the most complicated languages, because some people don't like people. I mean, why do I have to tell you the same thing every time? Someone will ask you, why do, if you know, like I love you, why do I have to tell you every day that your shoes are nice when you've worn them before? You know, but then it's their language, and you have to respect that if you want to respect your partner or your friend.
And it has to be appreciated.
Yes,
too.
it has to be appreciated.
Great,
Yeah.
great. Let me hear from you. Do you have a
I
side
know
to that?
it is sounding like it is his language already. So, so that's his area of socialization. So, words of affirmation. I am somebody that is naturally my own person. So, words of affirmation is not for me like that. But then, words of affirmation actually really mean. It means a lot to some people, and it means a lot to them in the sense that they have to hear words that are positive words, actually.
Positive words,
They have to hear positive words about things they are doing and stuff. But that does not mean that when the person is not looking good, not acting good, not looking okay, not in the best state, that does not mean you are going to say the positive word in sense that in the sense of positive word per se. You say it in a sense of suggesting something good, though there are some people that will take it differently, but then you still have to make sure the words are words of affirmation.
Kind words.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, they are words of affirmation.
Most necessarily true.
Yeah. Oh, you're nice. Oh, you're courageous. Oh, you're beautiful. Oh, you're this. Oh, you're that. Things like that. If people say things like that to me, I just like, okay.
So how do we separate this thing from flattery? Because some people could take advantage of these words of affirmation and then to flatter you.
Yeah.
How can we separate?
I was about to come there because, you know, you can manipulate you. Because I know that me telling you that your skirt is amazing every time will always put you up there. That doesn't mean that anytime I know it, first thing I say is I like your skirt.
Oh,
you know, that is, you know, you playing on your partner's emotional feelings, and I think that's the red flag there. Okay. You know, in quote. So, you know, how do you separate that from flattery? You need to understand your partner. Okay. You know, understand your partner. Understand when to say things and when not to say things. You know, in as much as people love to hear these things, at the same time, it's not all that needs to be said at that time. Okay. So you need to know. So, and may I come in here, even with that person's language, at that point, you may not even need to speak. Sometimes you need to communicate another language. It can be physical touch. Now you can hug a person because you don't want to say things, because people like that are sensitive to words. Okay. So they will obviously know when you say things that are not true, or you say things without the mean intention of expressing love. Wow. You know, so most times you need to know what to express at what time and when to.
Okay, but I look at it like these words of affirmation, it has to be true, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Which means if you go to a hairstylist and then you make a kind of hair, if it's not fine, and I reserve my compliment, you should understand that language, yeah?
Yeah.
But some people, like if I am someone who compliments you each time you step out of a stylist shop, if I compliment you all the time, and then there is this particular day you come out and I don't compliment you, you should understand, like, maybe I don't like the hair.
Yeah.
But some people still go as far as saying, what's wrong? You don't like the hair?
That's why you need to understand a person's love language. Because my love language, we may be partners, we may be friends, but then my love language may be different from his own love language.
You need to understand. Like that.
Yeah, you need to understand the other person's love language. And when you understand the other person's love language, when you are getting signs of, oh, it is not there, then you know that something is wrong.
Okay.
So you surely recognize flattery when you hear
When
it.
you hear
Yes.
it,
You
okay?
surely
Surely
recognize
recognize it.
flattery when you hear it, and you surely
Sarcasms
understand.
and the rest.
Yeah, things like that.
Okay.
The
But when I
smile.
do not really like something, should I go ahead for complimenting it if I really don't want to, if I don't like it?
You don't necessarily have to. When you are complimenting something, you are giving words that, oh, it is nice or good
Remember,
or
we're
bad.
saying words
Compliments.
of affirmation.
Yes.
When you affirm something,
Yes.
it is true.
Yes.
Okay?
So
if,
you have to say it as it is. But then when you are saying it, the
Kindly.
kind of words you are going to use to say it, you may
Okay.
be like, oh, probably the probably for female, the hairstylist is meant to put the hair in a I don't have hair. The hairstylist is meant to put hair
As
in
a
a
style.
certain way.
Okay.
Thank you. Meant to be hair in a certain way, and the hair is probably going to the other side or
direction.
something. Then you see it, you be like, oh, okay, this hair would have looked nicer if you get. So things like that, you can say them, but you not necessarily say the negative word per se, but you give
you have to say them
suggestive,
kindly.
yeah,
Okay.
suggestive words.
Wow, I think that's nice. Now, how important is this love language to a relationship?
It is cannot be overemphasized.
We haven't even dealt with all the love languages.
Yeah.
Yes, we still have two more.
We still have two more.
Yeah.
Amazing. Let's hear it.
Acts of service.
Act of service.
So, as the word implies, acts of service, actions that, for instance, I meet my girl, and then we're about to enter a restaurant, and I open the door for her.
Like
Some
he did
people
for
really-
me.
Oh, quite gentlemanly.
Well, that's not my language, but then I understand it,
You already spoke it.
No, statistics have shown that is the rarest form, because not everyone is always at alert. Like, I could be thinking of a lot of things in my head, and then you're passing, and then I'm like, okay, let's just open the door, and then I choose to open the door. Well, I'm used to it. I do it for my sisters, I do it for my brother, and particularly females around me.
I think we should do it for everyone.
Yeah, I think it's something we should inculcate because I've called that, I think the female gender, they really like it. They really like it when guy shows that he's the guy. You open the door for them, stuff like that. When they're about to enter the car, you do the same thing.
So pull a chair when she wants to sit.
Yeah, even in cafeteria here, sometimes one of my female friends will go to CAF, I open their nylons for them, I help them to like pack their stuff, and they're like, oh my God, that's nice. And I'm like, it's good. Because I feel like just to make them happy because they're my friends. So I have to communicate in language they will definitely understand. So that is one, still the rarest per se. Still the rarest because not everyone.
You don't have to feel ashamed about it.
Yes, you don't have to.
Okay.
Not everyone can live up to that.
Exactly.
Not everyone will always have the.
Not everyone even
understands the language.
Yeah.
Not talk of remember it all the time. So I mean, she was shocked when I did this, and
Yeah, I don't get it.
It was something I do regularly, and I hope
and
to
she
still.
took it very nicely. I could see her blushing, even though black.
I'm a gentleman.
Oh no.
So
okay.
I think it's a very, very beautiful language that would be good and important that we all understand all the five languages.
Yeah.
At least to some little extent.
They might sound very basic, but deep down there is a heavy weight right there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Act of service may also be you helping or assisting your friends or your partner with work. You know that there is a project that is meant to be submitted or assignment or things like that. You have to prepare for a presentation. Act of service is you doing a research on needs, assisting with those integral things that have to do with that particular presentation to make it successful. You particularly going out of your way to get the best for the person, to assist, to support, to do anything you get. So act of service is just wonderful.
Act of service is more like an inexhaustible thing because you could do it in different ways.
Yeah.
It could be as little as, hey, take this for transport. It doesn't matter. I know you have, but I'm just giving you.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
So things that are done and then people do not even expect it. You don't actually do it when it is needed.
Yes.
You just do it because it's a part of you to do. Wow. That's amazing. Let's hear the fifth one. Or you have something to say more about
concerning act of service.
Okay.
You know, I once had a friend that asked me, you know, how about the person? Because okay, if I speak a language, okay, before I go on like that, two things. There's a language I might speak in, and there's a language I would like to be spoken
back to.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that is another. So some people would say, okay, if my language, you know, it's acts of service, what if the person in question now use that to manipulate, and every time say you just when you're about it, I just chill. I'm like, you know, open the door for me now. You know, you know, things like that.
Okay.
But then I would tell them that, you know, people that are really communicating, because there are very few people that really communicate, they don't take it for granted. They don't dilute the efforts people make because it means so much to them. So it's not something that you will see someone misusing, you know.
And
not something
misused,
and it shouldn't be misused, you know, and should be undermined also by people.
And also something very importantly, regardless of how anyone takes advantage of that fact, it shouldn't deter the person who is carrying out that act.
Yes.
If you want to take it for granted, each time you're going to the door, you call me, hey Johnny, come get the door. I should be glad to come get the door.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter. It's not about the person right now. It's about your character.
Yeah.
It's about what you can do.
And what
not
you
because
like to see.
what you would
Yeah.
exactly, you know. So I think that's pretty
But
nice.
you know, these love languages has to do with more of the receiver. It is mainly
Yes.
it's mainly
If the receiver is not receiving it well.
it's mainly the receiver that is concerned with the love language, though the person portraying the act or the person giving it or whatever is also involved. But when we are talking about love languages, it has to do with the person at the other end.
Okay.
If I'm talking about my love language, I'm talking about someone using that love language for me.
Okay.
If he's talking about his own, he's talking about someone doing such for him. And you can do several things. It just has to do with the receiver. And him talking about it being the sender and the receiver doing this. That's what communication is all about.
And the
you
message,
know,
which
sending,
is that language.
So the feedback is the most important thing.
Yeah.
The sender is, I am the one telling you I love you. The message is the language.
Okay.
Then the receiver is the person I'm trying to speak to. Then the feedback is something that
the person must get it. The person must get it.
And that is when love language acquires its purpose.
Yeah.
Wow, amazing. We have little time. Maybe this is going to take us like 2 episodes, which would be nice, actually. Now, what is the last one?
I will touch
physical touch.
Physical touch.
Yeah.
That is very, very dicey, but let's hear it.
Physical touch. This refers to all forms of physical contact.
All forms of physical
except
contact.
Sexual intercourse. Because
and maybe violence.
Yes, and violence, definitely. Violence is not a language of love.
Oh, great.
It has never been and to never be.
Okay.
So, except sexual intercourse or activities, because physical touch, someone like myself, I don't think I'm that person. Okay. Because I don't generally like when people just touch me anyhow.
Oh.
Yeah,
it's not your kind of language.
It's not my kind of language. Okay. Yeah. But
it's actually a sensitive one. It needs to be understood.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I am kind of very sensitive when I'm in touch. You know, all my friends do. I just say it jokingly, but they know that, okay, yeah, Kola doesn't like to be touched that way.
Okay.
Basically, my female friends, my male friends, they know this. So what is that language? Some people do not like you to be speaking to them constantly. Or they will like, oh, I'm not feeling fine. They will like a pat on the back, a hug, a handshake. You know, these are warm receptions you give people that leave them feeling cozy, feeling good. You know, for someone like myself, I can do without a hug for a long. One of my friends recently told me that we've talking for 3 years and I've only hugged twice. But then I would like to talk all the time and I like to spend quality time. This is my primary language. You know,
and it has to be understood.
Yes, but I don't discredit her language, which is to touch. So once in a while, when I know that, I just, I like it go. So that language, it is very, 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 very important, and it is very, very dicey, like you said, because people will try to manipulate that
and then do it the other way around.
And the thing that comes to people's head when you say physical touch, most times is sex and all of that, which is not part of it.
Which is not the main objective of physical touch.
Yeah.
All right, let's hear from you.
A child may be crying, and you may stay beside the child to spend quality time. You may give the child gifts, and all the child wants is just to be carried and to be held. It gets. So that is physical touch.
Physical touch. Okay, wow. And you see, this physical touch, I think it works a lot.
Yes.
Someone could just be down and just a pat on the shoulder.
Yeah.
Does it?
Yeah. Even myself, that I don't complicate that language. Sometimes I know I do need it from my dad, and I'm like trying to be a big boy, but then he comes and he hugs me, and then I feel all good.
Yes. I can't take an injection if someone doesn't hold me.
Oh.
You have to hold me. And by holding me, you have to trap me there. Because I really need to know that someone is holding me before I will be strong enough to let you put that needle into me.
Yeah.
Wow, it's been a great moment, and this is really, really expository, because I'm sure there are things we've said here today that people are just hearing it for the first time.
Yeah.
And that means you have spoken into the life and love of somebody. Thank you so much for being a part of the program.
It's a pleasure.
Well, there you have it. Love language. Very, very important and very, very key. Though most times taken for granted, but it is an important ingredient when you are talking about a relationship. What is your love language? You need to find it. You need to define it, and you need to know how to express your love language so that your love can sail smoothly and you will have a successful end of your relationship. God bless you for being a part of us. Join us again same time next week. Bye for now.
Welcome to Bible Banquet.
God's plan of salvation has continued to move, through thick and thin, I may say, but the promise is still alive.
We have an advocate. We should come to God and confess, and God would forgive us.